All right, what is up, everybody? We are Community Spotlight coming right back at you. Tonight, we have a special guest. We have the Cigar Panda in the house, the man of many hats. Yes, I'm not talking about the blue, the red, the green, the orange that says Panda on it. He does have a lot of those. I'm talking about this man right here. So much for the cigar community. It is an honor to have this man take time out of his busy schedule with everything he does to come on the show and talk to us. So, Panda, thank you. Angel, you want to actually introduce this man?
Wow. You know what? Let's start off. I'm going to call him a dear friend now. You know what I mean? Me and him are close friends. But this is, like he said, the guy that wears many hats. You know, he's co-host of the Leaf and Ash podcast. He's a brand owner bonded by the Leaf Cigar Company. And, bro, if you have not seen this guy's hustle, he almost was in the movies, bro. Have you not seen it? He's tried out for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He's been Wizard of Oz. You know what I mean? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He tried out for all of them. He almost got it. The one that he was closest to, I'm going to tell you, he almost was Mini-Me from the Austin Powers franchise. He got it.
I love it.
But the problem is, they told him he was too short, so they had to recast him.
I was even too short for Mini-Me? That's bad.
This is the guy, the myth, the legend, the one and only Panda. You know what I mean? He's going to pull up a seat. He stacked his phone books. Now we can see him, and we're going to talk it and chop it up.
I'm sitting a little taller.
What's up? What's up? How's it going, bro?
Oh, man, dude, it's going good, man. You know, just here surviving, you know, profiling. You know how the Panda does. You know, listen, guys, I appreciate you guys having me on, all jokes aside, man. And you know what? I absolutely love this type of, you know, grouping, you know, just to collaborate. And this is always what the community is meant for, right? To get together, share knowledge, share experiences, share cigars, and share a bunch of war stories and you know, one or two lives maybe. I caught a fish that big, you know.
Yeah, I mean, so you have your separate life. You have your personal, which I heard you say with Raul, you are a detective. So you have that playing. You're also a content creator. You are a cigar brand owner. You are a podcaster. You do TPA. I've heard you say that you've done PCA. You do events. How the hell you do all that?
You know what? Honestly, I don't. You know what? Honestly, there's times I don't even know. To be honest with you guys, I try to get myself involved as much as possible. More than anything, I just want to be able to learn from people. I want the experience. You know, I absolutely love going to these events. You know what I mean? Because you know what? There's so many different brands out there. And to me, as an enthusiast, I'll be honest with you, I absolutely love to try new up and coming cigar companies and just kind of, you know, I've had people, you know, give me cigars to kind of, you know, try them out. And, you know, I've never, or nor have I tried to do any damage to anybody. You know what I mean? Most of the time, if something, you know, if I don't care for it as much, you know, it's pretty much more because it doesn't agree with my palate. But I give them my honest opinion privately and stuff like that. But as far as like the content and stuff like that, I just love to share. I love to get on the podcast with my guys and just chop it up and just talk about anything and everything.
So let's start from the beginning, bro. What got you into cigars?
He's
you know
so
what I mean?
busy.
Who's saying that? I'm slow busy. Yes.
Hold on.
Oh, he's so busy that he forgot our lunch meeting today.
He's so busy that he forgot our lunch meeting.
And listen, there is the truth to that. I actually forgot that I didn't have one appointment. I had 2 appointments today, and I did forget. I deeply apologize. And luckily for me, you know, I live 7 minutes away from Ish. You know, I live right around the corner. So, you know, I'll make it up to him. You know, what's up, Ernie? Look at Val Hayes. I see a Bud Hayes Gray in the house, huh? Hey, all these guys.
Yep.
Yeah. But going back to your question, how I started in regards to the cigars, are you talking about me starting smoking cigars, or are you talking about the brand?
Let's go starting smoking cigars.
Well, this is a story that I've shared a couple of times years and years ago, and it's crazy because I can't believe that I'm already, I just hit 51 this year, and I'm like,
I'm
you
right
know,
behind you.
yeah, and it's like, where the hell did the time go, right? I remember, years ago, I used to work for one of my cousins' boyfriend and his dad. They used to own a window company, a window cleaning company, late at night, early morning. And I remember the old man used to always have these cigars that he would always smoke. And to me, it's all about the aromatics of cigars, right? 'Cause that's the first thing that you get. It attracts your attention to it. And mind you, I was young. I was anywhere between, I want to say 13, 14 years old, something like that. And one day, for shits and giggles, I go, "Can I have one of those?" And the old man was like, "Old time mentality. Yeah, here you go, kid." I can't remember what cigar it was. It wasn't nothing, name brand, because it didn't. I remember not having a band. But then after that, as I got older, obviously I didn't smoke in between me because I was so damn active as a teenager. But once I got to my teens, like late teens, 18, 19, 20, then I really went in depth in smoking, trying this and that. And I remember, trying my first Rocky Patel 1990 vintage, and that one, back then I fell in love with that one, and actually, believe it or not, that was my first box press cigar that I really enjoyed, because box press back then, they weren't really constructed properly, you know what I mean? So they're, to me, a little too loose, And but after that, I just started just deep diving, going into buying this, buying that. I was a big CAO smoker back then as well. But yeah, I mean, absolutely.
And is that back when Oz actually owned it, or is that back when General Tobacco owned it?
You know what? I want to say General Tobacco. I want to say General Tobacco. To me, like and as years passed by, and then I really started getting into the boutique brands, probably in the last, like, really deep diving in the last probably 4 or 5 years, And I could tell you, probably the last 2 years I've hit it really hard, because it's just it's different, right? Boutique offers such a different, variety of flavor profile, as opposed to your regular normal Nicaragua, Dominican, Honduras type of tobacco, So, and then forget it. Like I said, I'm a true enthusiast. I am a true enthusiast, heart to heart.
Yeah. I agree with you on the boutiques. They're really trying to make a blend that stands out from everything else in the industry versus relying on a 35-year-old blend that has been around forever.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the thing is this, right? They have the mentality, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right?
So,
and
so what?
Yeah.
Angel and Panda, what are we enjoying tonight, blend wise?
Good, Angel.
So I'm doing one of Panda's, bonded by the leaf, the smoker's member.
The smoker's member.
Well, this is one, but I got another one banded.
That's the original. That is the original first batch of the bonded by the leaf smokers. What we know today as the Ember, as opposed to the member.
Got the OG, bro. I gotta come out with the OG.
Yeah, dude. I am actually. This is a relatively newer cigar to the boutique. This is one of Ish's creations for Rob. I don't know if you guys. I'm smoking the Cigar Assassin cigar.
Yes, I enjoyed that.
Okay.
And this cigar here, I mean, it got some flavor, and this is what I'm talking about. This is, you know what I mean, that this is not your typical, just your regular earthiness of cocoa. This is not. It has a very distinctive taste to it. It has some good notes, good profile. I mean, this is what I truly enjoy about smoking boutique, man.
And Rob named it after the person he dreams about every night.
Oh yeah, yeah, and among other things, right? You know what I mean? Because he's just Google Gaga over Ish. You know, I think if Ish and him were walking, if Ish stopped short, it will be over. It will be over. I don't know if he's here or not, but is Rob here?
He's in here.
Ish
But
I
is-
don't know if
it,
Rob is
I'm
Ish is here
surprised you
though.
don't have a cigar. You know, I'm surprised you don't have a cigar called Hayes Gray. You know, after that restraining order.
well, I was gonna smoke a Busala, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give Hayes Gray a break. But you can see these guys are always around. They're right there. And you know what? Those guys, I know Angel always busts my chops about Hayes Gray, but you know what? When you really get to meet them, if you haven't gotten to meet them, these people are absolutely genuine, good people. You know what I mean? And what I respect, and I've said this multiple times about them, it's very rare that you have, people talk about hustling and want their name to be out there. And there's another thing for them to show you that they're willing to put boots to ground and travel, and go out there and represent their brand, So,
Wow.
I have much love and a lot of respect for Hayes Gray. All while Adrian's looking a lot like Pedro. I was gonna say that, Val. You took it away. I was gonna say Angel's is sporting that the Ramos beard. You know what I mean? He's sporting that Ramos beard. I don't know what I don't know.
No, you got like the hat too, bro.
Oh yeah. And he talks about me. You guys are gonna have
Pedro
to get
Jr.
this guy. You know. Thank you, Val. I appreciate you.
Look, I'm allowed, within steps of them.
Listen. I think
Yeah.
during the TPA
Oh, there
smoke,
he is.
they're gonna sit in between. I think Ish is in the middle of us, so they're keeping at least 20 feet away from me. I don't know.
Nice. So this whole cigar community is a wonderful community as it is. Like between people you meet, brands you meet, owners you get to talk. What does the cigar community mean to you?
Oh man, you know what? Honestly, guys, it means a lot, and I'll tell you why. Because you know, I've always had this passion, this dream of having a big community and to being able to kind of host our own event and bring people from everywhere. I'm not just talking about in the States, I'm talking about everywhere, you know. And I think what I honestly love about the cigar community is that it's a even playing field, right? It doesn't matter what's your economical status. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't know what your skin color is, what your beliefs are, what none of it. You all have that one thing in common is the leaf, right? And to me, I love the stories that you hear at a cigar shop, right? The cigar shop is our version of the new version of the barber shop, right? You know that story of the barber shop, right? Everyone's chopping it up, talking. But what I love about the cigar community is that you have people from all walks of life that on a normal basis you will probably never communicate or cross paths and be able to sit down and just have a normal regular conversation with people that you never met, never thought of, and like I said, from all walks of life. And I absolutely love that. And you got friends that people that are doctors, lawyers, businessmen, mechanics, whatever, and they just sit down in a shop and they just joke around and chop it up with one another. And when you sit back and analyze it, and you get this feeling, it's like this is what I love about this community. And guess what? And if you get a home lounge that you become like the furniture, you know, and that family builds, you'd be surprised when you're in need of something. Yo, hey, yo, you good? I had my AC mess up. Was it last year? It was 7:30 at night. I called my buddy up, and dude, that man drove an hour plus ride. You know what I mean? Fix the damn AC. Didn't charge me. I was like, dude, grab whatever you want from my humidor. You know what I mean? And I was like, dude. And then we went back to the shop. I got him some more stuff and I got him a drink or two. But that's what I'm talking about. That's what you don't normally get outside of the cigar community, and that I absolutely love about it.
So piggyback off what Angel said. So as a content creator versus now a brand owner, what is the one thing that you pull from this great community that keeps you pushing?
Well, as a content creator, I think what I enjoy about that aspect is the educational aspect of it, because I learn just as much as I teach, right? And because anyone that says they know everything about the cigar industry, you know what, that's the person you got to step back from and question because they don't know everything. The community forces me to learn more, right? In the sense of the pride that I take in the industry, right? Because I want to be able to speak and know my facts properly so that if I'm going to give my opinion or whatever, that I have some substance to back it up. I have my receipts to back it up. So they kind of keep me honest. They keep me on my toes. You know what I mean? And I love when people ask me a certain question. And if I don't know the answer, I either call somebody that I know or I look it up and I do my own research. Because to me, the only way you're really, really going to learn about this industry is by doing your own research, reading. Yeah, you got mine. Yeah, you got YouTube University. But there's so much stuff that the YouTube University still hasn't even brought up that you could find in old books, old tobacconist books, and that's when I started going into. I started doing a lot of reading, and believe it or not, Andrew, they didn't have, or not all books had all pictures on it. Only they actually had words, and some words I had to look up. All right, listen, I'll be the first to admit, man, I had to look it up. I'm like, what the hell did this mean? But to me, it's like if you and this is where it goes hand in hand. When I was creating my brand, my partners did that. I had an idea, and I could tell you, I have a book. I've showed this. The only one that's ever read my book is Ish, in the sense of my blends that over the years that I've come up with.
I heard you say that,
and I could tell I have easy 20 plus, maybe even 30 different blends that in my mind, based on my palate and my experience, that I feel that will go well with each other, right? And I could tell you this, and this is where Ish's experience in the blending aspects, that he could go, well, yeah, this sounds good, but if you remove this and add this, it might be better. Okay, let's try it. And a perfect example of that is in the new cigar, the last one that I just made with them, the Smoker's Delight. I gave him my blends. He rolled it because he had the tobacco in his house. And I was like, ooh, it's good. It was good, but it wasn't what I wanted for that cigar, for the Smoker's Delight. You can't have a cigar called Smoker's Delight and it's a pepper bomb. You know what I mean? It defeats the purpose, right? It's an oxymoron. So he goes, what are you calling it? So I tell him what it is. He goes, well, Ish. She's like, well, why the hell did you tell me that in the beginning? I'm like, well, I'm telling you now. So he took my blend, removed one tobacco, replaced it with something else, and it was exactly what I had envisioned. And in the Smoker's Delight, what I love about that cigar, when you light it up, you're going to get a little bit of pepperness just to wake up your palate, but then it's going to smooth out. And that one has, and I'll tell you, that one has the Ecuadorian Connecticut shade Claro wrapper, and he ended up putting Indonesian tobacco in there, and it was the Indonesian tobacco that balanced that cigar ridiculously. I can't wait for everybody, to when they come out and they try it and stuff like that. And the Smokers Inferno, we kind of tweaked that one also too. So the one that we get in at the TPA, is going to be elevated from the original.
So you talked about working with Ish. So how is working with this Ish guy? Some people don't know who he is. I don't know. I'm not even sure I know who he is. Explain it to me.
So have you ever had like a flaring hemorrhoid? You know what I mean? that just like that throbbing, that you feel your heartbeat. You know what I mean? No, man. Ish knows that absolutely. But you know what? Ish is that guy. Don't ever come to Ish. How should I say? Don't ask Ish for his opinion if you're not ready for it, because he's gonna give it to you straight. And most people get butthurt because Ish is very raw. You know what I mean? Ish is very raw. I've said this. I know he's on here now.
Mm.
You know, Ish, you know, is an acquired taste. But if you truly take the time to really get to know Ish, you'll find out that the man has a heart of gold. He really does. And you know, I know that you know people you know have said things, and like I don't care, you know what people's opinions are of other people. I base my opinion on other people based on my opinion, my experience with them, right? Because listen, I know that I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. You know, I get it. I'm very high volume. I'm loud. You know, I'm out there. I'm outspoken, and that's okay. But that's who I am. I'm good within my skin. And Ish is the same way. What I absolutely love and that I admire about him, and I don't want to say this too. I'm gonna say it really fast. I don't want to blow his head up bigger than what it is. Right? I'm gonna straighten out his curls. Is if you ever get a chance to do a Fuma test with him when you're creating your cigars, when you start doing with just the fillers, and then you start building it up to the actual final product, to watch him in his element, right, in his little world, and when you see him focus, and it's crazy because like the more wine this man drinks, the more of a mad scientist he becomes, and it absolutely blows your mind to because I'll ask him why doesn't this tobacco work with this. And if he has the tobacco, he goes, here, you try it. I just put these together. You tell me why it doesn't work. So he's willing to teach you just the same, right? And then be like, oh, what the hell is that? He goes, then that's why it doesn't work. So that to me is the difference between a blender and a master blender, that they know what tobaccos work together and what contradict and they fight with each other. So that's honestly issues. You know, he's definitely he knows his stuff when it comes to tobacco.
So, how did you two meet? Did you like go to his quinceanera, or like was this something that you met at an event? How did you guys meet?
I met
He needed a translator. That's what it was.
Well, yeah, that and a ladder, right? And so no, I met Ish through Alan, believe it or not, from Family by Loyalty. You know,
Okay.
and I met him. We ended up meeting up at the Great Smoke, and we honestly, it's crazy how things just kind of fell in line after the fact, right? And then we started talking, communicating a little bit more, and then we ended up finding out that we kind of hung out with the same people around the show in Discord and stuff like that. He ended up joining Discord, and then not realizing how close he lived to me, all this time, and ever since that, man, now it's just, I'll be honest with you, we talk, I won't say we talk every day, but we definitely, we definitely have communicated a lot, on the personal level and as well as the business, as in the general, as far as, the community, the reasoning why certain things happen. And because I like to pick his brain, and he could tell you, like, him and I don't always agree on everything. But the reality is, it's just a matter of respecting each other's thought process, etc. Learning is not just memorizing stuff, but trying firsthand, so you learn from experience, not what others say. Yes, yeah, absolutely. He's absolutely right, and that's my point, right? It's because prime example is like I have all those blends in my book that I've written in my mind based on my experience, what I feel would might go well together. And some of them he's giving me accolades for. He goes, this would be a really good blend. But if you do this with that, take this out. I'm like, I'm always willing to try it, And if it doesn't work, if it's not for me, or I'm good with that. I'm willing to move on, But to me, it's also I want to hear your opinion about it, and I want nothing but transparency. You're not going to hurt my feelings. If you tell me it's an actual dog turd, then it's a dog turd. But I'm going to ask you, what is it about my cigar that you particularly don't like, right? Because it's important, right? Because if you're going to get in this industry, you better have thick skin. And you're hoping that you have friends or acquaintances, whatever, that are going to be truthfully and honest with you in regards to what you're presenting to the table.
Yeah. Well, and I hope they say, if they do say it's a dog turd, I hope they come back with more context behind that, because of these factors, not just it's a dog turd.
Right.
That doesn't tell me shit. Sorry.
Correct. No pun intended.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. That doesn't tell me shit. So you also Leaf and podcast, right? Leaf and Ash.
Yep.
So 600, I believe 680-ish follows, and you guys are at a 1.4K videos. Is that am I reading that right from statistics off of your guys's channel?
Yeah.
How long you guys been doing that for?
We just hit our second year. You know, yeah, we just hit our second year. It's crazy how the analytics, right? Because we have, believe it or not, JJ is the guy that does our StreamYard and does all that. And the analytics that he shares with us, we've had over 350,000 views, probably 400 plus. We're close to, and it's crazy because, and with that being said, right, how do you have only 688 followers or subscribers, right? And it's like, it kind of baffles it, but it challenges us at the same time, right? And you guys know, right? What do you do to create that attention, right? How do you bring people to come to your channel to partake, and be able to, oh, here we go. One thing I can say about Panda is he listens, he tries, he learns. So the dog turn doesn't happen. Oh my God. Some others would not want to change their plans, and doggy crap happens. That is a fact. That is a fact.
Oh yeah, it is.
And
some people don't want to listen to people.
The thing is this, right? If you have, okay, I'm gonna use my profession as an example, right? I got 28 years in the line, right, on the job. That's like somebody that's just coming out of the academy, right? We go on the scene and they're trying to tell me how to work that investigation, and they've never worked a case in their life, and you're trying to teach them and educate them, and they're like, no. I'm gonna do it this way because I know it's better because I read it on something or I've seen it somewhere else. Yeah, but I understand that, but I'm telling you what really works. And sometimes you gotta step back. Right, you got to step back, and you got to, you have to let people sometimes make their own mistakes and learn from their own mistakes. And some people learn, some people don't. And people tend to have this sense of repeating the same mistakes, and that's what definition of insanity, right? Repeating the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome. You have to be willing to accept criticism. You got to be willing to take advice from people that have already been there. And the same thing with the podcasting. I watch other podcasters to see, what is it that they're doing different than what we're doing, because listen, everything in the cigar world, in one form or another, guys, is a copycat world. It is. I don't care what anybody says. You're going to gravitate to something about them. You might not do it exactly like them or like that individual. You kind of make it your own. And that's the whole idea of making your content. You want to make it your own. But sometimes, I won't bring up this particular podcast that's very well known that they seem to have taken a liking to one of our segments. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a very well known podcast, and it was funny because they did it a week after we did our very first or second one, and of course my guys were like, wow, that's a great concept. We did the same concept, the same thing last week, and mind you, they did their own little twist to it, but to me, I didn't take it personal. I appreciate that. That means that we got big content creators out there, big podcasts that are looking at us small guys. And to me, I take that as, okay, we're doing something. They got a bigger following, for now. I said, and because we truly believe slow is fast. We're not in no rush. If it blows up, it blows up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we're having fun along the way. That's all that matters to me, my guys. So.
Like my boys at Smoking Sounds,
exactly.
Shout out to Smoking Sounds right here. Or John's Apparel t-shirt. It's community, not competition. You know what I mean?
You know what? So that's become, because I reached out to Renee, because I like that shirt that she had on, and you had on. What is it? Community, not competition.
Competition.
I
Petition.
need to get me one of those shirts, man.
So
I
Four
Four
Johns
John.
apparel. Four
Four
Johns
Johns.
apparel. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
absolutely love that shirt.
No, it's an amazing shirt. Angel and I are kind of the same way. We just roll with the tide. That's not an Alabama fucking saying, so don't say that. Um, we we do it, and the way I feel, if people are copying us, you know what that means? We're doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're doing that means we created something that was cool, and they're copying us. You know what? I ain't gonna go out there and be like shaking on someone's leg and like, what are you doing? You know what? Cool, you guys copied us. Like that means you guys are not creative.
Right.
You guys are searching for content. We did it. Yeah, cool. But it's so I heard you on Raul's podcast. Change this right here. 28 years service. You're getting closer to retirement than you are. The retirement number is getting smaller of when you get to do that than the number of years you serve. So realistically, when is that? Like how many years is that? Is that 5 years? Is that 7 years?
So, oh man, I don't.
I know you've thought about this.
Oh, if I bring the missus over, she'll tell you every day. I'm ready. I'm not even. She's tired of me. She's like, I wish you would hurry up and retire. I can tell you this, that probably 2 years. 2 years will be my absolute done date. It'll be June of 2028, 2029, 2028 probably. June 15th of 2028 will probably be my due date. If not, it might be June 15th of 2027. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm
So that'd be
at
30,
that stage.
30, 31 years.
No, it'll put me at 29 years. Because I got 28 until my next year. Next year,
29 years. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And
So you beat a big 5'2", where your height is right there.
exactly. That was the goal. That was the goal. So listen, I am, just like anything else, right? You work hard. You kind of want to make sure that when you're ready to pull that plug, especially when you retire, because when you did something for so long, it gets scary, right? To know that one day, okay, guess what? Not every 10 days you're getting that guaranteed check. Now, yeah, you're getting a guaranteed check once a month, but did I properly, prepare for retirement? That's the biggest goal, right? You got to make sure that you properly prepared for retirement. And I think I have, you know what I mean? And his shoes is 5-ish. But so yeah, it's forget. So me and the missus, we did, we crunched some numbers, and realistically, I think we will be fine. I mean, but at the same time, I'm still gonna be young enough to if I want to work something else part time, just to keep me busy. I'll probably do that, but I know that I'm definitely gonna give myself a break. Give myself a break before I decide to grind it out again. And so there's a couple of things that I would like to do. Obviously, I would like to really get the brand, up and running at its full potential, and see where the brand takes me, and me and my guys. And the reality is that if it does well, then I can push it, and if it doesn't, I always have my resume to fall back on, I'll put him to work at the factory.
He says he's putting you to work at the factory.
It's all good.
Where did the name come from for the
That's a
cigar
high
company?
minimum wage down there.
You know what I mean? And what does it mean to you?
Well, so the name of the company means a lot, right? Because that's exactly what I wanted to come up with a name that really represented the community, right? And what best, right? What brings the community together other than the bond? Everyone's bonded by the leaf, right? And to me, I was like, you know what? And if you notice, there's two hands shaking, that represents the introduction, the hellos, that was the meaning of the name and the handshake. Because every time you go to a cigar lounge and you see people that you give them your daps, you give them your hugs, whatever. You always have that bond. And like I said, to me, the name of the company truly represents what I believe brings everybody together, and which, like I said, is the leaf itself. And that was it. I like to think of myself somewhat of a traditionalist, but the reality is that you can't be a traditionalist when you're gambling and you're trying truly exotic and doing things outside the scope of the norm, right? But the reality is, as far as to be a true traditionalist, I think that you got to have the fundamentals, and to me, the fundamentals are the respect, the etiquette, the knowledge, that bond and the communication, right? I think all of that is important, because you know what, you have to be able to take the time. If you're going to be serious in this industry, then you need to take the time to educate yourself, and not rely on other people to give you the answers. Right now, you could bounce off questions to people, but at the end of the day, it's still your responsibility to see how serious you really are about being involved and getting involved in the industry, because it's an uphill battle. Just being a boutique brand itself and being a brand new boutique brand, it's even a harder slope for you to climb. So that's what Bonded by the Leaf means to me.
Just everybody who's joining in, thank you guys for watching. But a big part of what we're doing tonight is get to know your community members. So if anybody's got questions, throw them at Panda. That's why part of why Panda's on here tonight is not only for Angel and I to pick his brain, but for community members to be able to ask questions that they feel like to reach out to Panda and ask those questions. So if you got questions, fire away. It's part of the reason why we brought Panda on here. Get to know your, content creator and your brand owner, and, fire away. So
me and Greg are like, we enjoy your podcast. We enjoy what you guys do, and we like follow and participate, and watch. So how did you all you guys get together, and how did it all start?
The short answer is TikTok. That's the short answer, right? The short answer is that we all met through TikTok. People started doing their content on TikTok, and I started doing mine. And obviously, you ask, to friend them, to they friend you, etc. Then back then, remember that you couldn't go live until you had like 1,000 followers. And I remember when I hit that first that 1,000, I was ecstatic, man. I could finally go live. I could bring people. I could jump on other people's TikTok lives. And JJ wasn't there just yet. He was able to jump on, but you couldn't see him. TikTok is so weird. You know what I mean? It's like I don't understand their algorithm, like what they consider is acceptable and allowable as a, I don't understand that stuff to this day. But yeah, then, Don, and then obviously JJ, and then I was part of a different podcast a while ago, and obviously difference of opinion, different idea, creativity was just different, and we kind of, I wouldn't say we had a falling out, but we definitely went our separate ways, and I started contemplating whether or not I should start my own podcast. And I just want to let you know that you're the only person allowed in my couch with your 6-inch sneakers. Ah, Gabe, unbelievable. So he made me just lose track of what I was saying about the podcast. So these guys, so these guys, they're like, yo, Panda, man, listen, if you're going to do something, we would love to be part of it. And I'm like, all right, let me think about it, whatever. And I was like, okay, let's do it. All right. But before we do it, I want us to have a conversation. So we end up going on Discord, and I kind of I don't want to say rules, you know what I mean? Because, I want everyone to understand that there's no head of the table in our group. We sit in a round table. Everyone's opinion matters. Everyone's, voice matters. Yes, I'm the most vocal. I'm the most outspoken out of my guys, but we all have a purpose. You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead, Angel. You look like you're ready to say something, but you itching.
Angel said you got a high chair.
Yeah, I do. I got phone books underneath me right now. You know. So, but the thing is this. So right. So we wanted to focus on our strong points, right? All of our. So I'll tell you this. So as you guys, I'm the most outspoken. I'm not shy. As you guys, I'm far from being shy. I have no problem speaking in front of people and cameras. JJ on the other hand, he's finally coming out of his shell, because if you would have seen JJ 2-3 years ago, the man is a shell. I mean, it's crazy how much this man's come out. I absolutely love how much this kid has come out of his shell and is becoming his own person. But he's our technical guy, right? But Panda, what's the story behind each blend's name? All right, good question. I'll get with you on that one. So, JJ is the technical aspect, right? He's the one that does. Listen, JJ is the youngest of the group. The three of us are in our 50s, and JJ's still in his mid-30s. You know what I mean? So he's savvy with all of this stuff, right? So that's his focal point, right? PC's kind of like he's somewhat introvert, somewhat extrovert. He's in between. And he has his own quirkiness and stuff like that we all kind of feed off. And Don is probably out of all of us the most level-headed. Nothing bothers that guy. I can't tell you how many times I call these guys to pull me off the ledge, because they have a different thought. Because my mind is like zooming a million miles an hour, and these guys pull me back. But we all serve our own purpose, and I think it works well for us. I think we blend very well. I think we complement each other well. So yeah, I mean, I think that's in regards to that, how we all got together and we all agreed to come up with the Leaf and Ash podcast, which was a name that JJ actually came up with, that he started. And kudos to him, man, because we're running with it. Wow. Val wants
first question.
So the first one is quite funny, right? The Smoker's Ember, not member, but Ember. And I remember, so bear with me, guys. I was in the bathroom at the cigar shop, right? And the lights we lost power. And I remember standing in front of the mirror because I was washing my hand, and I was trying to light. I take a big drag of my cigar, and the ember of the cigar lit up, right? And I was like, wow, man, that ember was bright, And I was like, Smoker's Ember, right? The smoker, And I'm going, what a great name for it. I thought, I was like, great way to start, the Smoker's Ember. So, we have the Smoker's foreline, right? We have the Smoker's Ember, the Smoker's Inferno, and then the Smoker's Delight. So when I was creating that name, that's how it came about. Going to Ish initially, because it's funny how everybody has somewhat the same idea when they come up with the blend. They want a powerhouse. They want something to blow your palate. They want full body. And Ish is like, you know what? Why don't we do something different? Why don't you come into a medium to mild cigar so that you get both sides of the spectrum? Those who smoke strong, full body cigars will be able to enjoy it. It's not as strong, but it's strong enough that they'll be able to enjoy it and go through it. It's light, but not light enough, not strong enough that the light people would be able to enjoy, because it balances it out. That was the Smoker's Ember. The Smoker's Inferno. Then I was like, okay, now I want to amp it up. I want something that when you light it up, because all three of them are going to be closed foot and pigtail. What I love about a closed foot is that you toast it, and when you take your first drag, it to me is when you get that first initial flavor, right? And I wanted that Inferno to wake your palate up like no other. Be like, wow. I was like, holy crap! I want something to burn your nostrils just enough that you know that you're smoking something good, and something that's going to be strong enough that if you are a full body person, that you're going to fall in love with this cigar through and through. And that cigar has Madagascar Ligero in it. And not everybody has Madagascar. That one, has the Cubra, so it's a wrapper on it. And so that one was absolutely, a battle, because, that's why, like I said, we went back and we revamped it. So the newer version of the Inferno is definitely exactly the way the original prototype that Ish made for us, and everybody's gonna actually get to taste that one during the TPA. And then of course the smoker's delight. I want this something that the initial drag, the initial first pull, it's gonna wake your palate up, but you'll be able to enjoy it nice with a nice cup of coffee in the morning, Or if you're a light smoker, you'll be able to enjoy it, morning, day, or night. So the delight, I just want it to be a nice cigar that'll be very tasteful and delightful. And then that's it in a nutshell, you know. What do you think you can want to cigar? Once you retire and have more time to dedicate to, what do you think you can? I'm trying to say, you got to read Ish. I know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Maybe means support.
Yeah.
What do you think you can do to support the cigar community once you retire and have more time to? Okay, so I
I'm
would
gonna go
like.
with that. Do the support. Yes.
Yeah, I think what I would love to do, I want to put the TPA on the map. I want to be able to spearhead it. I want to um, be able to take the reins and just take the leash off me and set me loose. And because I want people to know about the Tobacco Products Association, because it's like no association ever that I've ever been involved in or even heard of, because it's I don't know of any tobacco association or community like that allows consumers to partake, right? Because always retailers, a lot of brand owners that are somewhat in the mix, but this allows the brand owners, lounge owners, mobile lounge owners, community, the regular enthusiasts. And what I love about this is that the consumer actually gets to get educated about the industry, what truly happens behind closed doors, that a lot of these big wigs do not want you to know. They want to keep the general public dumb. And a prime example of that is these tariffs that these big names keep on using to mark up their price. A prime example of that, right? Nicaragua got hit to what, 18%, right? So everybody jacked up their prices. Well, guess what? They just dropped down to what, 12%, 12.5%. You don't see any of those guys
Our
dropping
prices
their
haven't.
prices,
Nope.
right? But then
No.
learning this in the TPA and getting yourself educated, guess what? That 12%, even let's go back to the original 18%, it doesn't go to the consumer. It goes to the factory. You get what I'm saying? So these people, they take advantage of the general public, the general consumer, because let's face facts, guys. The general consumer won't talk to you about flavor profile, right? The majority consumer will say, yes, I like it, no, I don't. They go, oh yeah, it's a little strong, or it's not strong enough, or it's too light, but they can't tell you why or what exactly is it about that particular cigar, right?
Mhm.
They can't tell you the difference between the San Andreas wrapper and the Ecuadorian sun grown, right? They can't tell you the difference, and people don't understand that you can still have a Connecticut that's a darker shade, and it's still a Connecticut, but people shout with their eyes. People don't educate themselves, and so to answer issues that I would love, to take the reins of the TPA and honestly push it forward. I think that's where I probably will focus a lot of my energy, because I think there's a lot of people that will benefit consumer wise, brand wise, lounges. Because guess what? If you own a lounge, a brick and mortar, and you get educated, and when these people come with this nonsense to your lounge, be like, why am I getting hyped up when this and this and that and the taxes don't affect us? And what are they going to say to you when you give facts and you have receipts to prove it, right? So, to me, that's the aspect. I want to be able to educate more people.
Yeah. Well, and too many people shot by these, and this is a great cigar. I'm loving this cigar, but you turn this band into the legacy bands.
Mhm.
That's how people shop. It's unfortunate.
Right.
and then you try to turn them on to a fabulous, hey, this blend is great, and you'd be better off just taking the damn band off and be like, here, try this.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Because there's no like brand awareness of what they're smoking.
Mhm.
So they just look at it and they're like, oh, this is a cigar. Okay, let me try it. Cool.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it doesn't say Nike on the side. You have no idea what you have right now. Um, tell me if you like that.
Right.
I've heard people run this test to where like they've given them the brand that they love and smoke all the time, and they're like, I don't like this. And they're like, dude, that's the cigar you smoke all the time, and now you're telling me you don't like it?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
You know who does that? You guys know who David Garofalo is?
I know the
Yeah.
name, yeah.
Okay, from Cigar Authorities. Two Guys Cigars down
Yep.
in New Hampshire. Now, let me tell you something. Dave Garofalo, you want to talk about a very influential person in the industry. You got major legacy owners that constantly call him for his opinion, his advice, because the man really knows the industry in that capacity, right? And he does that with his own cigars. He'll take off his band, right? Let's say one of them is the Anchor cigar or Atabay, right? And he'll compare it and go. He'll have they'll go to lounge and go, which is your top legacy cigars? And let's say for let's say it's I don't know, let's say it's Placencia, right? But one that looks identical to his Anchor. Let's say they'll take the band, they'll give it to like 5 to 10 people to smoke both cigars, and just so they don't know what it is that they're smoking, and they have them rated by profile, by construction, the whole, and it's crazy. And he doesn't only do it with his brand, but he does it with lower and inexpensive cigars against these high price cigars. And once again, right, it goes back because people shop with their eyes, right? And because they're a follower of that legacy, they will 9 out of 10 times they'll pick that legacy over a boutique because they don't know nothing about it. But if you do what you just said, let's do a blind test. And so you can really define what you really truly like and not who you like. Big difference. Big difference.
And all of a sudden they're picking the other cigar that they've never smoked. And they're like, this thing's amazing. They're like, yeah, the one you smoke all the time, you just threw under the bus.
Right. Yes. And it's happened, I think, because they've been keeping a tally of it. And I don't know exactly what the ratio is, but I can tell you this, that it seems that the lower end inexpensive cigars are taking the lead over the legacy. You know what I mean? And that speaks volumes. Absolutely speaks volumes.
Yeah. Jesse did that, I believe. He took 2 of the exact same cigars. One was unbanded. One had the band on it. He gave the guy the first one without the band. The guy was like, this is effing horrible. This thing sucks. Gave the guy the second one, and he goes, yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. And he's like, dude, you smoked 2 of the exact same cigars. He's like, I'm not talking cigars with you anymore. He goes, you have no idea what you're talking about. The guy was just sitting there, he said, staring at him like, what? He goes, you smoked 2 of the exact same cigars and you have 2 shot by bands.
Listen, we did that to somebody with a with the Cohiba band. I'm not gonna mention his name, but dude, what we did was we got a actual real Cohiba band, and we kind of put a little bit of tag glue, like, you know what I mean, put it on out of all cigars, we put it on a quorum. That should have been, you know what I mean, because the Cohibas are a little bit fatter than the quorums, and we gave it to him because all he talked about how these Cuban cigars are the best thing ever, and I'm like, and they're like, hey man, listen man, I just came back from whatever the heck, and hey, you want one? Yeah, here you go. Now, like 3 or 4 of us knew about this, right? Yeah. And we're lighting our own cigars, and same thing. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. There ain't nobody make it. And we let them smoke it at least halfway to finally tell them, dude, you just smoked a $2.50 cigar, and you said it's the best thing you've ever had. And it's like, dude, it's just, and mind you, don't get me wrong, all cigar, it's all subjective, right? It's all subjective because I could absolutely love this cigar. It might not be for your palate, Angel, but Yeah, but it might hit your palate.
Surprised you didn't hand him a 5-pack.
Right. You know what I
Here's
mean?
the 5-pack of Quorum. Here you go, bud. Enjoy.
Dude, it's just like I said. It's sad that it's true. But the problem is that you have these legacy companies, and I hate to say this, but it's true that they take advantage of their followers, their fan base. And I've shared this story. There's this one particular legacy guy that I used to absolutely love his cigars. But back in 2013, 2014, when the government started getting, if you guys remember back then, they were trying to get themselves really deep involved. And if they didn't have X amount of blends already registered, they were going to get hit per blend, per size, and X amount, a fee. So this guy in particularly started just throwing cigars out there, putting new names on there, right? And the cigar was the same damn cigar. It was the same freaking cigar. And I called it out. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, why would you do that to someone that's such, a fan and someone that's such a supporter of yours? And so I remember writing, I wrote a letter or whatever the hell it was, and I never got a response back, right? And this is 2013, 14. I started calling the BS. I just recently started smoking their cigar, because there's only one of them in his entire core line right now that I actually enjoy. And I guess because he moved factories now, he's now no longer in one country. Now he moved to another. That could be a clue, a hint. But yeah, and it's sad, right? It's sad that these guys take advantage of their fan. Because listen, going back to the original thing, right? No one's gonna blink an eye if Padron raises their prices $2-3. No one will bat an eye. Fuente, the same thing, right? Even Plasencia, you can even go with Plasencia and stuff like that. This is the battle that, to me, I think eventually Boutique is gonna win, because I think it's gonna be in everyone's price on margin, because once you start getting to listen, guys, I truly believe anything above $15, now you're pushing. That's just my opinion. 15, 16, 17, $20. That cigar better be good, because I know that I could get 2-3 cigars, that are half that price and get 2 of them for that one price, But they live with that motto, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And you got to change it, man. You got to mix it up a little bit. You got to mix it up.
Oh, 100%. I try to do that every single time. So with all the events, you can either answer this by like a monthly figure or yearly. How many events would you say you average? Either, like I said, probably yearly would maybe be the best answer.
I average probably 3 events.
Year?
I would love to get yearly. I would love to go to more. There are some that are on my bucket list. Listen, so I've gone to the Great Smoke. I think I've missed probably the years obviously of the pandemic. You know what I mean? Those obviously I missed, and maybe at best, maybe 2 other ones. But other than that, I remember when the Great Smoke was this big, and he was at, in the villages, behind the plaza, and a VIP ticket back then was like $75 to maybe $100 back then. Now, you pay VIPs $375, $400. And obviously it's a lot much, it's much bigger now because it's at the fairgrounds over here. A lot more vendors, obviously more people that have shown up. I've gone to that, I've gone to, me and the guys from the shop, I've gone to Ybor. I absolutely love Ybor. Ybor is absolutely, if anyone has not had a chance to go to Ybor City in Tampa, you are missing out. You have to go. It's one of those things that you absolutely have to go. And then, the third one will probably be maybe a pop-up, of some sort, nothing in particular. I do have on my bucket list, I would love to go to the Rocky Mountain. That one is definitely on my bucket list. I want to be able to go to the PCA in probably in Vegas. I'm hoping that a particular company goes. I know I'm stirring some stuff up right now, but because I definitely would love to see them really blow. Yeah, no hints, no hints. But I think that there's so many. Smokelahoma, another one I would love to go to. I know there's another one in Atlanta. Another one in Texas. Like I said, there's so many. When I retire, I
There
plan
is,
to
yeah.
do a lot.
There's a lot.
Oh yeah, there's a lot on the to-do list. Plenty to do. Just matter of saving money and planning properly.
Oh yeah, budgeting is everything. Where so anybody watching, they just DM you to find out where.
Yeah, you could DM me on any of my social media pages. Everything's Cigar Panda. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm on Tread. I'm on X. I'm on what else? Pretty much every social media program. You could email me at cigarpanda75 at gmail. And you reach out to me, and we'll definitely hook you up. But definitely, if I could take a moment, I want to talk about the TPA Smoke Fest. If you guys give me a moment.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Be Support Boutique, man.
Yeah, so the TPA Smoke Fest is going to be held in Pensacola from October 1st to the 3rd, guys. It's going to be a blast. So it's Thursday to Saturday. Thursday basically is just your meet and greet. We're going to be at the brewery meeting, so you get to meet all the brand owners, all the accessory owners, etc. Just to kind of just chop it up, just to meet everybody, and everybody's going to get to meet other brand owners and just have a good time. Friday, if you did purchase a VIP ticket, your VIP ticket includes an hour early entry. It also includes your swag bag. It includes that Friday a rolling class with Ish Oliver from Banff. He's going to be doing the rolling class. That's that. Me and my guys are going to be doing a live podcast at the TPA, interviewing every vendor, every brand owner. And then right after the event on Friday, if you did purchase a VIP, it includes a dinner. So that's something that we're offering that no one really offers. Saturday, same thing. You get it out early. You're gonna do a pairing tasting also with this. And once again, we're gonna have a bunch of swag, a lot of giveaways for raffles. Sounds like a great event, but one heading the event seems sketchy as hell. What is it? But the one heading the event. Wow, that's not cool.
Who's that, Jerry?
Probably. So, and then Saturday night, the after party is going to be at Cordova Cigar Lounge, which these guys were gracious enough to basically, I believe, I want to say around 10 o'clock, the lounge is ours. They're shutting down, and anyone that attended the event we have the launch for ourselves. We're gonna have obviously 2 DJs. We're gonna have like I said, we're gonna have a bunch of games going on. We're gonna have food trucks there. And guess what? You're gonna get to see the Panda dance, baby. Let's go. You know what I mean? I know everybody wants to see the Panda show.
Breaking to the electric boogaloo.
That's right, baby. They do that little pop and lock. Hoping I don't dislocate a hip or something. But
So you're giving out free dance lessons.
Bring your broom.
Hey, that's it, man. Listen, the whole we want everyone to leave at the end of the weekend with a great experience and to say, you know what, when's the next one? That's the goal, because we are looking at going to other states. We have one particular state that we're looking to kind of do a follow-up to this, but obviously we're waiting to see how well this does, because I truly believe we are going to do very well. And I got to I want to take my hat off to the lady and gentleman from Hayes Gray, because you know what? Without them, this is a fact. I've had my share and partake, and I've done what I've been capable and able to do. But this has been all Hayes Gray, guys. I'm telling you right now, it's in their backyard, and you know what? They've been gracious enough to give us and allow us to kind of reach out to some of their supporters and some of their people that to sponsor, etc. And I tell you, these guys, I honestly believe this from my heart, that this fest would have not been able to be completed without these guys. And let me tell you, Val, that girl is killing it on social media. she's absolutely killing it on social media. I mean, the things that she comes up with, it gravitates. You gravitate to it without a doubt. Yeah.
So
But
don't
thank
stop
you.
there. How do people join TPA?
Hmm.
You
So
can't just
you could
stop.
go to tpa.rocks.com and they'll tell you everything that you need to do. Your membership. Your membership as a consumer, I believe, is $50 for the year. I believe if your media is the same, if you're a brand owner and a brick and mortar, I think it's 200 from year to year. You do get a lot for that. You get a lot of advertising, you get a lot of promotion, you get a lot of what you call it, a lot of connection. You get to network with a lot. Right now, we're 140 plus members right now. So, like I say, go to tpa.rocks.com and like I say, and if you want to know what the event's about, go to tpa.rocks/events, and you see what each package offers and what the prices are, etc. And I promise you, you guys are gonna get a lot. You're gonna get a lot more bang for your money with us.
Yeah.
So there you go.
If you need more
Because
information,
I'm part of the TPA, you know
Yep.
what I mean? I'm a consumer, and I get a lot of knowledge just listening to all the brand owners, all the people that come in
Yep.
from different organizations talking about what they do, and they get to hear my jokes too.
And I forgot another benefit is anyone that's a member of the TPA. Thank you, Ru. So if you go to an event or go to a lounge that's a TPA member, you automatically get a 10% discount on any and all your purchases wherever you go, and that includes the events as well. So yeah, discount on TPA lounges and brands, absolutely.
and if anybody has further questions, you got Hayes Gray you can reach out to for questions. You have BAM Cigars you can reach out for questions. You have Angel. You have Panda. Ish is on multiple platforms. Factory Reserve Podcast. You have a lot of resources to have questions answered if the TPA.rocks.com doesn't answer those questions. So reach out. Those people are open arms. They will sit there and talk to you and answer all your questions for you. They're amazing people. They're doing amazing things. They do not allow legacy in that place.
No,
No, thank you.
nope. And that's right. I forgot. Ish is going to Honduras this week to represent the TPA. He's actually going to be meeting up with the president out there and an organization out there.
Yep.
So we're bringing the TPA even internationally now. You know what I mean? So they seem to like what we have to offer. Ish, obviously, who speaks multiple language, even Ishism, Ish Ebonics. Sometimes it's got to come with the translator, but it's all good.
Google Translate don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, no, Google Translate. You know what the Google Ish will say where you go Google Translate and it goes, huh?
Yep.
What?
Every time I put it on, it shuts off. I said, I don't know what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Oh man, dude, I like that.
It just
hat,
says
though,
it.
man.
It just says port. That's all it says.
Yeah.
So
Dude.
for the TPA event, I got something special for that VIP pack.
Oh,
You're gonna laugh.
okay.
So since you mentioned hats, Panda, you are a man of literally many, many hats. You're like a Skittles package. I don't know if I've ever seen you in the same colored hat twice in a row that says Panda on it.
Right.
Is this possibility as a merch for you coming up?
You know what?
And
Yeah.
how many people have reached out to you going, Panda, how do I get one of those? I want it in green. I want it in teal. I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm a Eagles fan. I want it in this color because, brother, you got them in every color.
Yeah. And the crazy part, and this is a true story, guys. I've never been a hat person in my life until the last probably 5 years. This hat here is the original. This is the actual original hat right here, and this was given to me by my sister, and I've worn the heck. I mean, the rim is actually like soft as heck. But yeah, I have it in black and white, white and black. I have red. I have white. I have what color. I got all sorts of colors. But yeah, I've had a handful of people that actually will love shirts. But I want to get your guys' opinion on this here because I thought about bringing this probably to the actual TPA, making some shirts that look somewhat like that.
I like that
Yeah.
logo.
A little different, right?
Yeah.
And they got
I like
the
it.
panda. They got the little panda flair on it, right? It kind of reminds me of New York, and with the little graffiti style. But yeah, I definitely I'm looking at actually ordering some hats and some shirts and stuff like that, and see what happens with it. Not to go crazy with it. I'm not
Yeah.
looking for killing at it, but it'd be nice to see people walk around, with your shirt logo on it. I mean, that kind of makes you feel good. When people recognize you, and that itself makes me feel better more than anything. When people recognize you, like, hey, Panda man, what's going on? And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm reaching out. I'm doing my job, so I look forward to doing more of that.
All right. So I know, some of you guys don't know. There's like a certain movie out there that took some of his moves and stuff. You know what I mean? Little fluffy character, doing a little action out there.
Here we go.
Explain to us where the Panda name came from and how these moves from this character started mimicking and showing off in the movies.
So
First off, did you get a check from that? You know what I mean?
I should, right? I should send them a cease and desist letter, right? But so the name Panda, believe it or not, was given to me by, crazy enough, by the streets where I work at. I had gotten into a physical altercation trying to detain an individual, and he wasn't coming cooperatively, and so him and I kind of started throwing hands, and then a buddy of his decided to try to join in. And for those who don't know, I've been in the martial arts since I was 12. You know what I mean? So I've been able to defend myself a little bit. And your boy that particular day was able to handle himself. And the crazy part, people started yelling, "Oh, Kung Fu Panda, what go?" And it just, from that point, it just brought. Then my coworkers started calling me Panda. It got to the point that on the radio they were calling me, "Hey Panda, come on, meet me here. Panda, meet me over there." And at first, I kind of resented it. I was like, "Really, Panda? Like, really, Poe? Like, really?" And and I was like, and as time passed, started passing by, I started embracing it. And so I didn't give myself the name Panda. Between the guys in the streets and my coworkers, they're the ones that gave me the name Panda. And ever since that, if you guys go back to my TikTok, the very, very beginning, I called myself Popo Panda. That was the name that I came up with. And I've shared this before. I had to stop using the Popo aspect of it because I started receiving a lot of hate messaging, a lot of, I want to say death threats, but a lot of death to my family and a lot of foolishness, and it kind of got stupid, and so I kind of just like stepped back from it, and I changed it from Popo Panda to Cigar to Panda to Cigar Panda, and I just Panda, But yeah, that's where the name came from, and I absolutely love it. I have my Poe, stickers in my job that guys have given me. I got my Panda, cigar holders that people made for me. And I absolutely love it. I embrace it, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And some people are like, "Your Panda, what is actually your real name?" Because people call me Panda for so long. They're like, "What is your real name?" I'm like, "Well, my actual real name is Pete, or my actual government name is Pedro. I'm a Pedro, So, but like I said, I absolutely love it. I love the community. I love how they've embraced me and my name, and me and the name have become one, and I enjoy it, and I love those who know me. It doesn't take much to get me wound up to start dancing and having a good time, and I definitely don't need a drink to get cranked up. I'm just full of energy as much, that's just life. Life's too short to be serious all the time. And
Yeah.
listen, there was a time in my life, guys, I'll be honest with you, especially in my profession, that I was very desensitized. You know what I mean? Because I've seen so much in my career, I've been through so much, and that I became very, very numb to the world. And something obviously lit up inside of me, and that I had to brush that off and just change the way I started thinking of things, and had a whole different outlook in life. And this is what you see today.
Definitely got to be a hard separation from what you do as work, and then be able to step out of those shoes when you get home and leave it in those shoes.
And it is, and I'll share this with my guys. Like, I can't wait to really retire. Wait about a year or two, and maybe like start a segment, and just talking about my career, the things I've endured, my ups and downs, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because I've had all of them. I've had some scary encounters. I've had life-threatening encounters. I've had moments that I've shed a tear for, and I've had some happy tears and sad tears all at the same time. You know what I mean? But like I said, I can't wait to retire to share these stories with people, and be open about it. And I've always been transparent about my profession. If you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it very honestly. Because I know people have questions in regards to law enforcement. People do have their own perception of how things should be, and people do feel that there's certain things that we can and cannot do, and there's certain things that we have to do in a certain way.
Yep.
And I want to be able to explain that and to educate the public, because you constantly hear, and not to get too much into it, guys, but you constantly hear, oh, they got to get trained more. These guys need more training. If you guys knew the amount of training in the last 28 years that I've done in my profession, it's enough for 10 life goals, And I think what it is, I think people need to flip the script. I think the general public, need to educate themselves, but they need somewhere to go to actually be able to ask honest questions and be able to have an open, respectful conversation and go back and forth from it. Let's see. Well, Panda will be at the TV event just saying $10 entry. That's going to be behind a private tent, right, Ish?
So, dance moves, kung fu skills. So the whole vote for Pedro thing reminds me of Napoleon Dynamite.
Speaking of.
See, there it is.
Speaking, Ruth sent this to me the other day.
I know. He told me he was going to send it.
Dude, that is hilarious, man.
You got some nunchuck skills?
I do. Listen, I got I was proficient in the nunchucks, the sword, the sais, and the tonfas. Those were my weapons of choices. Oh, and the what you call, oh my God, the bali sticks, So, but the style that I teach is stuff like there's all close quarter stuff. So it's you gotta love it.
Yeah.
But my dancing
skills. Talking about ruin stuff, you know what I mean? The cigar, the brotherhood. Oh my God.
I go back and forth between the brotherhood and the admiral. I always go back and forth, but I seem to fall more onto the brotherhood.
I just had that.
Immunity, nice. I just, to me, listen, being, born and raised in New York, man, I grew up in the breakdancing era, you know what I mean? And if I showed you a picture of my breakdancing day, you wouldn't even believe it, man. I had my little DA, my little fro, you know what I mean? My windbreaker. We used to go out there with the cardboard boxes and pledge, to spray
the tracksuit.
Yeah, man. They, sporting the Adidas, the shell top Adidas with the fat shoelaces.
Yep.
Those were the days, man. I miss those days. I'll be honest with you, man. These kids nowadays, like, everybody's always stuck inside. These kids are stuck inside. We had no choice but to be outside. It could be 100,000 degrees outside. Your parents are kicking you out the house. Go get fresh air, And
go drink out of the hose.
Yeah, that's right. We used to crack open the hydrants, the fire hydrants on a hot summer day, get a can
Yeah.
of beans, empty out the beans, and cut both sides, and make a nice freaking waterfall out of it. Have a blast.
Uh-oh.
Panda, you're the man, even though your Yankees are still consider you. Yes. So, as you guys know, the Ramo brothers are from Boston, or should I say from Boston, right? It ain't Boston, it's Boston. And I believe I think the Red Sox are what, like 4, 5, 6 games behind the Yankees. I'm just saying, I believe so. I know Tampa Bay right now is kicking butt. I know that Tampa Bay is kicking butt, and the Yankees are second right now. But
I just got real.
yeah. Listen, man. I remember as a kid, we used to walk to
Boston,
Yankee
New
Stadium
York
and
always
see
at each other's
Mitchell.
throats.
What's that?
Boston and Yankees could finish dead last in their division, and you say, yo, Yankees suck this year, and they'll say, at least we finished ahead of Boston. I hear it all the time, or vice versa. You say it to a Red Sox fan, they're like, "No, we finished ahead of the Red Sox. We're good."
Oh yeah. That's our World Series, regardless, every year, right? Yeah, I'll tell you, it's a trip.
Yep.
It's a trip. Mason, what did Mason? My kids threw a fit.
Wait, what do you think, Angel? That time?
Yeah, why not? Let's do some rapid questions, some fun questions. Just go with it.
Let's go.
All right.
You want to start?
All right, it is our quick fire time.
All right.
I can start.
Go ahead. Let me start. First off, what's your real
All right,
height?
Mr. Panda.
I'm 5'8",
Cut a
man. I'm
freak.
5'8.5" with shoes on, buddy.
Choppy.
All right. What do you got? I think Greg might have froze.
All right. Can you guys hear me now? It's getting
Yep.
choppy. Okay. E-cut or straight cut?
Straight cut.
Your real shoe size.
9.5. Oh. Yeah, definitely straight cut. I think you get more flavor with the straight cut than you do with the V cut. Oh, he's frozen.
He's back.
He's back.
Yeah,
All right.
I've got full bars too, so I don't know what's going on.
Toro or Robusto?
We going to Robusto or Toro? Oh,
it depends on
the same page.
I would say it depends on the time. But if it's a regular day, probably you said Toro or Robusto, you said?
Yeah.
Toro. Ironically,
San Andres or Maduro?
I use a V cut or angle cut on that. That is crazy.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
San Andres or Maduro?
San Andres.
Okay.
All right. Coffee or bourbon?
Oh, see, that's day and night, right? Daytime coffee, nighttime bourbon.
All right. You got to pick one. New Kids or Backstreet Boys?
Oh, my God. New Kids or Backstreet Boys? Oh. Damn, that's kind of all the ones that would stump me. New Kids.
All right. Menudo or Aventura?
Menudo. All day, man. Oh, cookie. That's my everybody. Super dami mo.
All right. Añejo or going Añejo or Reposado?
Añejo.
All right. Cigar lounge or backyard?
Ooh. Man. Lately, I honestly gotta say backyard. Lately, it's been the backyard. You know, it is at that time that
Sorry, Ish. I was talking about rapper. If that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the lounge, definitely, like after work, that's where I go, is the lounge. to kind of decompress. But there's just days that I just don't want to even socialize with anybody because I just had one hell of a day and I'd rather just be in my backyard or in my garage. So
Save yourself from the weird guy that wants to talk up storm with you.
exactly.
All right, we go on soft flame or torch?
Oh man, torch.
Okay.
All right. Favorite country for tobacco?
Okay, so that's kind of open ended, and I'll tell you why. Because you have tobacco that different, right, different part of the cigar, right? Um, I think the most intriguing tobacco for me to this day is probably the Transylvania tobacco.
Nice.
That cigar, I know it's just the Ligero part of it, but if you think of origin, then I would have to say if we're gonna stick to the basic stuff, probably Nicaragua.
All right.
You-
Favorite Vitola?
Belicoso.
All right.
Interesting.
So biggest cigar peeve.
Biggest cigar peeve that people do.
Yeah, the biggest pet peeve they have. Yeah.
My biggest pet peeve is when I see somebody pick up a cigar and put it up in the nose. To me, like they don't have like my biggest pet peeve when people don't have the etiquette that they should have going into a lounge.
I already know the answer to this, but closed foot or open foot?
Oh, close foot. Just for that initial light up. That initial light up to me it's so different than a regular open foot.
Yeah.
So your crew on the podcast, who's most likely to fall asleep smoking a cigar?
Right now would be PC because that man's on the road and that man's driving, 400 or 500 miles plus a day. That man's been averaging like 2,000 miles a week.
Okay.
That man's been trucking.
So if you could visit one country in regards to tobacco related vacation, where would that country be?
It would probably right now. I still, despite all the nonsense that's going on over there, I still would love to go to Nicaragua. I think Nicaragua is, they have so much to offer. I think that soil over there is so rich and the factories that are out there, but yeah, it definitely would be Nicaragua.
Okay.
So, would you prefer a mountain view or a beach view?
A mountain view. I like a beach view. It's nice to see the ocean and stuff like that. But there's just something about mountain view that is just so, nostalgic. It's just so like, when I went to Tennessee, I absolutely fell in love with the mountains out there.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's breathtaking. It really is. The ocean. I guess because I see the oceans, I'm surrounded by water here, so that it doesn't impress me as much, anymore, anyways. But the mountain view, absolutely. Go visit Yellowstone.
If you could only choose one for the rest of your life, you rocking Adidas or you rocking Nike?
Ooh. Wow. Okay. just because of just who I am, man, I would have to go old school and go with the Adidas. I have to go with the Adidas, man. I just there's something about that era that of my life that I miss so much, man.
All right, let's cause a little trouble in this podcast. All right. So which one of you guys on your podcast are you taking to an island? It's just you two, and you're gonna smoke a cigar every day with.
Oh, that's wrong.
Oh, I lost you guys. What happened? I lost you guys. Bad connection. Oh my God, bro, that's brutal.
Drawing a
man.
name out of a hat. I'll tell you that right now.
God, man, you got my hat turning sideways, backwards now, man. Wow, man. You know, I love my guys in their own way, man, because wow, man, wow, that's brutal. That's brutal.
That is a brutal ass question.
That is brutal. I don't need. Oh man.
That's easy for me because I only got Angel on here.
Like, oh man, Angel, I hate you right now, man. Well, I hate you so much right now. This is rough because each one of my guys offer something. They all offer something different, right? But I think that the one that I have the most comparable lifestyle, a past, etc. BC would be driving, so he's out. Ironically enough, Rule, it will probably be PC. It'll probably be PC. Right. I think PC and I, you know, him and I, we have a lot of our background and our upbringing in common. So I think him and I, you know, will be able to definitely survive just based on our upbringing.
So lately, what has been a go-to boutique cigar that maybe you've been reaching for in the last 10 days that you've been excited about? You know, I know you smoke a lot. You know, this doesn't show favoritism to anybody, but just something in the last 10 days that you feel like you've been reaching for a little bit more that you've noticed.
So this one is no secret, and I actually had to restock because I ran out of them. And luckily for me, the guy lives seven minutes away from my house, and that is the original Blood of Lot. The original Blood of Lot. There is just something about. So, and that's where the Transylvania tobacco comes from, right? And that's the cigar that, when I tell you, opened my mind and blew my mind all at the same time, because I've been smoking for so many years, and you kind of get used to the same profile over and over and over, maybe different variations, right? But when the damn JJ and Don going to be hurt. Thanks, Black. Appreciate you. So I think that the Blood of Lot was that cigar that when I initially took that first drag on it, right, that first hit, that I went, that it set me back. And I remember me sitting down, I poured myself a glass of bourbon by myself. I was here in my garage, and I enjoyed that entire cigar in peace and quiet. I didn't have the television on, I didn't have music on, I just enjoyed that cigar. And I remember, you know, clear as day, that it's like the first cigar in a very, very long time that hit me that way, to the point that I went to Asia. I had to get another one and bring it down to my boy, my best friend Ernie. I'm like, Ernie, you got to try this, E. I go, this is something he's been smoking just as long as I have. And when he took a hit of it, he goes, what the hell is this? I go, exactly. And yet to this day, yeah, I've smoked 30, 40, probably even 50 of those cigars. And yeah, I went to Ish's house, you know, because as you guys know, he redid that blend. And it's a good smoke. The new one, it's a good smoke. But, you know, it's just like anything else. And I was very honest with them. And I don't know if he's still here or not. And I was honest with them. I go, I just like that size better. You know, the original. You know, to me that size. It to me it hits perfect. I mean, it's everything about it. And obviously, you go a bigger ring gauge, a longer ring gauge, you got to add more filler, which is going to kind of change it and tweak it a little bit. It's still a great smoke, but to me, it's just something about that size of Martella that I absolutely love, and I've been killing it.
That one's still on my list to try from him.
Oh, you haven't had one yet?
Not that one. No, I'm a huge fan of that African Puro one of his, though.
All right, so I got to send you the 5-pack anyways. So I will be sending you a Blood of Vlad. All right, I'll send you a Blood of Vlad.
The 5-pack's going to Angel.
Oh, okay. So
I'll send it to him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Angel can send it.
So then I'll send you that. Angel, I'm going to send you the other two also, the Smokers Delight, because I only have the prototypes of the ones that I've been handing out. And the mass production will be done for the TPA. I'm actually doing boxes for the TPA. I'm doing 5-packs, and I'm doing the sampler pack also for all 3 cigars out there. So I'll send you both 2 of each of the cigars. Well, Angel, you got the damn 5-pack. Yep. You greedy bastard.
No, that's how we share on here.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll send you the Blood of Vlad.
Yeah.
I want to cause a little bit more trouble. So my next question. So you're going on a long road trip across country. Who are you taking? The Haze Gray crew or Ish?
Damn. Angel out for blood right now.
Well, Angel, I used to like you, man.
I am not asking these questions.
No. I Haze Gray. Haze Gray, because there's more of them and you can get more conversation with them.
And you can understand them.
And I can understand them. I understand. Listen, that's one of the luxuries of being so close that I get to hang out with them a lot more often. So you kind of understand them. The problem is that when he's on his 3rd bottle of wine, then it gets real complicated. Yes, Pedro 100. That's true story. Listen, one day we had to follow Rue. Dude, you would think the man's drunk. He slows down, speeds up, he's swerving, he slows down, I'm like, dude, you could get sick. You could get motion sickness watching him drive. True, that's facts. That's facts, bro. I love you, Rube, but dude, he's always on his damn phone. That's why Pedro always drives his own truck. That's why Pedro always drives.
A little respectful question here. Who is one content creator that you admire and respect?
All right. So this and it's crazy how fast I can answer this question. He's a young man, extremely knowledgeable. He's always dressed to the T. And everyone knows, I don't even have to say it. Once I say, everyone knows who that is, right? Memento, right? Clint. That young man, I have so much respect for because he's genuine, And what I love about that kid, and he's a grown man. I keep saying kid, but that young man, he has his own style, his own flair. He beats his own drum, and I respect that about him. I really do. I think that Clint has a lot to offer this community, a lot. You want to talk about a plethora of knowledge, that young man, and look at the things that he comes up with. I'm sure you guys have seen his reviews.
Oh yeah.
And it's crazy. And what's even baffling is how these big legacies constantly send them their high-end $60, $70, $80 cigars to do a review on. That to me speaks volumes, right? Yeah. And mind you, and not all the time he gives them the greatest prestige review. That I won't forget that one particular brand, that one company that he broke it down from the wrapper, how messed up the wrapper, how many veins it had, how the cap was all messed up, and it was a $65 cigar. And guess what? That company saw that review. You know what they did? They doubled down. They sent them another 5-pack of a different brand that was like $85. You know, it was crazy. But yeah, but Clint by far, hands down, is probably, I am a big fan of that young man. I think
Yeah.
he has it. He's the real thing.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a favorite question. It's not going to cause any problems. Maybe it might. So I'll make it a two-part. So if any of your co-hosts or any of your cigars can survive the zombie apocalypse, which co-host can and which cigar can, and you guys be smoking together?
So, oh my God.
Still asking hard questions.
What the heck is this, man?
Welcome to the rapid fire.
The apocalypse. So, okay. So the thing is, JJ has the military background, right? Don has the soft side of him, man. I love my boy Bougie Don, but I think Don's gonna be the first one to get eaten up, man. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, Don, I love you, Don. JJ got the military experience, man, and I love that. I think him and I will kick some serious butt, between his military and my law enforcement tactics. I think him and I will do and kick some massive butt. So it'll probably be JJ and I, and tactically, just because of the survival aspect of the military and the law enforcement, and then the cigar, man. As crazy as it is, and those who know me, I am a big Maduro full body cigar, but probably right now out of my line, I'm absolutely loving the Smoker's Delight. I really am loving that cigar. I have maybe 10 left of the original prototypes, and I'm trying to take my time smoking them because I enjoy the hell out of them. And I have found myself smoking them in the morning, with my cup of coffee first thing in the morning. And lately I've been finding it being my last cigar of the night. So that's my man. But you caused all sorts of ruckus, man. Oh,
Wait till the. All right. So my last one, since you mentioned in coffee, favorite coffee brand to have with a cigar.
So it's called, oh my Lord. Now you're gonna make me go to the damn kitchen to go get that damn bag. My yoga. It's Spanish coffee. It's almost like an espresso, but I love my Spanish coffee. My wife doesn't do it like the traditional, the boil the milk and stuff like that. Yeah, I absolutely love my Spanish coffee. And she'll either make me a café con leche, at nighttime, because I could drink coffee pretty much any time. My wife is definitely the coffee enthusiast more than I am, but I love. It's called my yoga, and we normally get like the monstrosity bag from Costco, But yeah, with that's it all day. No Dunkin'. Listen, I'm a big Dunkin' Donuts guy, man. I am, and it's crazy because I gave up sugar a long time ago, years ago. So I use Splenda, and I either use Splenda or I'll just, if they don't have it, then I'll just have black coffee. Just plain black coffee, nothing else. But I love tea. I'm a big tea. I love green tea. No sugar, no milk, no nothing. But I love hot green tea. The guys at my job make fun of me all the time, but it's all good.
You said Panda drinks tea.
Yeah, man, I do every day. Listen, to the point that they got me a kettle for Christmas. They thought I was going to be upset about it. I absolutely love it, man. So every day after lunch, I make myself a kettle of hot water for my green tea.
All right,
Angel,
I'm gonna be
one
done.
last.
You want me to give you one last one? I was going to say I was done because I caused enough trouble. All right.
One last one. I gave a last one.
All right, I got one for him. I definitely got one.
Brilliant.
So, which member of Hayes Gray is your favorite?
Oh, you're an ass. Well, guys, thank you for having me. I appreciate. Dude, that is so wrong, bro. Oh my Lord. Dude, I love them all, bro. That to me, they are considered one. Oh
Val
man,
saying, "Oh, Angel."
I thank you, Val. Once again, I love each and every one of them because they're so different in their own ways. You know, I love,
Depends on the day of the
I love,
week.
yeah, exactly. I love Pedro because Pedro is his own person. You know what I mean? You could tell he is his own person, and there's just something about Pedro that I don't know. I don't know how to describe it with that man. That like I said, I got nothing but love for both the Ramo brothers and Val. Pedro, but you could tell he's a smooth operator, right? And answer wise. I'm answering Pedro. You see what I'm saying, man? So that Pedro, what I love about, see, I can't answer that. I'm giving you. I'm gonna break down why I love each and every one of them separately.
Oh, move on from that question.
Rue, I love Rue because you could tell he's very headstrong, and he's very decisive, and I admire both of their work ethics, but I could see that when Rue has something in his mind, and I think that's where Rue and I are very much in common, that we're very driven. When we want something, we're gonna go out there, and it doesn't matter how long it takes us to go and get it, but we're gonna grind it out until we make it or we fail. But at least we're gonna make a valid effort to say we made it. It's because Pedro got the blueberry yum yum. Oh man,
So
no man, yeah, I gotta finish this up. And Val, I just love Val because you know what? She is truly a sweetheart, and to me, I think she is the glue. I think she's the glue. I think that they all truly because listen, they always say don't never go to business with family or friends, right? But it works for them. It works for them, and I think that they have something very special. Um, and that's my answer, Angel. And
it's
you're
a
not gonna
valid
make me pick
answer
one.
right there.
No, I already know the answer, the way he talked about him. But if you saw when he talked about Pedro, he licked his lips a few times. So it's going to be Pedro.
Maybe because we have the same name, It's the Pedros, man.
So with all that you do, Panda, as busy as you are, how much family support you get with doing all this?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Listen, let me tell you something. The wife, I could tell you, man, she supports me in every journey that I've taken, and the one rule that I have that I will never. When I started this journey, I spoke to her about it. Um, I told whatever I do, my promise to her is that it will never affect our marriage, our relationship, our household. So any money that's taken out is because it's been put away aside, and it will never affect our lifestyle. You know what I mean? And because you know what, we're not people that live above our means. We live very humbly. We really do. Um, to me, my wife does really balance me out, and so my wife is a very spiritual, very religious person, and she balances me. When I tell you guys, she's changed me in so many ways. You know, that I'm so grateful for. I really am. Because in the things that you endure a lot in your life. You know what I mean? All these trials and tribulations, all these mountains that you got to climb, and most of the time you have to climb them alone, right? And it's very rare that you can find a significant other that is there willing to support you, to have your back, to say, I got you. You know, it's not you, it's us, it's we. And I finally found it. I finally found her, and I'm not letting her go. And mind you, outside of the man up above, my kids, she's my rock. She really is, and she supports me 110%. And if you guys go to the TPA Smoke Fest, you guys get to meet her. You know, and yeah, she balances me out. She knows how to yank that chain when she needs to.
That's good. Everybody should hopefully have that in their lives to where they have a good support system.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's one message you can give the community that's watching or going to watch, what would it be?
don't judge based on other people's opinion. You know, I think that as big as this community is very small, just the same. You know, I think that just like anything in life, you know, don't voice your opinion based on other people's opinion. You know, voice your opinion based on your own experiences. You know, you
100%.
like, you know, you like something because you like it, not because someone else liked it. You know, don't go support something because someone else supported it. If it doesn't, you know, go with your beliefs and what you believe in and this and that, then don't support it. Don't go for it. You know what I mean? Be your own person. You
Yeah.
know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you being different, you know, or have an opinion that's different than others. You know, like I said, just be truthful to yourself, you know, more than anything, first and foremost. Because you know, you'll find that you have a lot of people that have a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say hatred or just a strong dislike for certain things, certain people, certain brands, etc. And they want to kind of spread that hatred. And you know, and to me, that's not what this community is about. You know what I mean? If you're not going to be part of the solution, don't be part of the problem. You
Yeah.
know, and there's a not, and you know what? I love this community, man. I tell you guys, you know, my guys can tell you, I'm starting to live out the dreams that I've set out for myself. I've always wanted my own cigars. I got my own cigars. I've always wanted to host an event on one of the promoters of an event, you know, to build the community. And that's why I said when I retire, I will hope that the TPA, you know, may consider me to even become a board member, you know, and I would love to be the spearhead, and to be able to be that person in the forefront, you know, spearheading the TPA and promoting the hell out of it and going on different platforms and you know, talking about the TPA and let people know how different the TPA and what it has to offer. So I wish I could make it to the event. Oh, you so foolish, but whatever. Whatever.
That's because Angel's going to be there.
Yeah. Angel,
That's
you
because
coming?
he's no, but I'll see you in Ybor.
I don't want to see you anymore.
I already booked my Airbnb. It's already booked.
Damn it, man. But yeah, listen, like I said, we all in all, there's gonna be more TPA events. You know, I know for a fact. You know, I think that I'll be honest with you. I think that the TPA has something good going for it. I just think I honestly think that it just needs a bigger push. You know what I mean? I think and this and I'm being very transparent, very honest, and I've had this conversation with Ish. I think there's not enough people, you know, pushing the TPA as I feel as they should. You know, I think that the TPA is. I think that it benefits everyone. It really does. And if anybody has never been to a TPA and if you want to come as a guest just to see what we're about, you know, message me and I'll send you an invite so you can see what we're all about. You know, we're willing to take that gamble, you know, to have you come on, you know, no, free of charge so you can see and once again to form your opinion, not my opinion or what I think about it, you know, so you can see whether I'm talking, what I'm saying is true or not. So, yeah, I know I kind of rambled off on that question, but it's so true. You got to be
No.
honest with yourself, man.
You answered it. And I know that like Angel and I, when we bring in, you know, guests that own boutique companies and they're like, what's TPA? We educate them on, you know, who they are, what they are, you know, possibilities of what they can do for them. Um, you know, try to grow that boutique, you know, family out
Yeah,
there, that community, right? Not
absolutely.
competition.
Right.
Um, because let's face it, all the boutiques are fighting for shelf space against a company that says I need 85% of your shelf space, or you won't have me,
Right.
which to me is BS. Because that's just bullshit, um, in my eyes.
Right.
Um, that's really where the competition is at, is, you know, fighting a legacy company that demands, you know, 18 yards in a humidor.
Right.
One
Right.
one company, right? That's just one company. That doesn't
Mhm.
count for the two or three or four companies that are going in there that are, you know, well, we have a band.
Right, right, right. Well, listen, you got certain legacies that in order for you to carry their brand, you got to carry a minimum of five of their brands of their brands of their vitals, right? But rather, excuse me, they're all five different of their brands, but in different vitolas, right?
Yes.
And it's crazy. And I'm not making you guys know I don't have to mention which ones they are, but
Oh
listen,
yeah.
in the lounge that I'm a member at, you know, I know that this one particular cigar company has two complete wall to wall of their cigars.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and
Well, and
mind you,
it's the real estate location too. They have to be in this location. It has to be done this way. Here's
in a
the
certain way.
schematics. Here's the schematics. If you do not set it up picture perfect, we're not coming in. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And there's realtors who are like, half the shit ain't gonna sell.
Mhm. And that's the problem, right? Because they the way they grab you is that okay, you as the brick and mortar, you know what the number one, number two, number three cigar selling is, right? So you know that's a given, right? That's a given. But they're like, yeah, well, if you want these, well, guess what? You're gonna have to get these five other ones with them, you
Five,
know.
like 25.
It's crazy. It's just
I know.
it's absurd, man, because it's just like, you know, why, right? But listen, here in South Florida, boutique is hard. Boutique is hard to sell. Let me tell you, you know, unless you're in the smaller towns, you know,
Mhm.
you'll see some boutique, but most of like South Florida, forget it, man. It's a battle. It's about
Yeah.
because down here it's all about status.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about what you smoking. You know, and like there's some legacies that I see people spend their money, and most of the time they don't even finish the cigar. It's just to show the band. You
It's got
know,
an X on it.
right? Correct. You know, and it's just to me, it's not worth. There's so many boutique cigars that for that one legacy you could buy two or three,
Yeah.
and just as good, if not better.
And
You know,
I think
give them a chance.
you hit it on the head earlier about pricing that, the taking advantage of the tariffs going up and down, prices not reflecting that from those big brands, and people starting to realize that once if they do, if they catch wind, I see it all the time, but it's like, okay, I could get one bottle of water for $35
Mhm.
because it says Aquafina on it, or I could get the small company that's just as good, if not better, and I could get 18 bottles of water. And these, holy shit, are these good? And it's at some point that realization is going to come across the community to, as I like to say, is treat your palate. There's an average of 30 days out of the month. You should be treating your palate to something new at least once a month. It's like restaurants. You don't eat at the same freaking restaurant every single day you go out to eat. No, you see a new restaurant and you're like, hey, I've heard something good about that. What do? You walk in and try it. Cigar community, there's a large portion that they do not treat that as if it was a restaurant,
Correct. Correct.
right?
Yeah,
They
you're
eat
right.
at the same damn Taco Bell every single day they go out to eat. Nope.
Mhm.
Give them a green enchilada, give them a green enchilada every single time they go out, you know. It's like, why? Why do you do that?
Listen, I got a buddy. I have a buddy that all he smokes is this one particular legacy. That's it. And it could be the anniversary line, it could be the regular line, you know, but he will not smoke anything else. And I mean nothing else, you know.
It's
And and,
crazy.
and it's and I'm like, and mind you, he has those. He's that guy that has the deep pockets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has the deep pockets, but you know, to me, it's like I find it that people that have those deep pockets, right? That they want once again is the status, right? It's all about that status.
Exactly.
They
Yep.
want to have that opus, they want to have that Davidoff, you know, and but you know, that's their everyday smoke, that Padron. You know, that's their everyday smoke. For me, you know, those cigars are my celebratory cigars. You know, once in a
Yeah.
while I smoke, you know what I mean? And listen, those who know me know that I smoke the 80th anniversary Padron every year for my birthday. Every year for the last, I don't know how many years. And that's the cigar that I smoke at the end of my night of my birthday by myself. You know, I pour myself a smoke glass, and that's my cigar that I reflect the year. I don't know why. For whatever reason, it was just that cigar.
Yeah.
And mind you, I have cigars in there in my cabinet that were gifted to me. And I have a cigar in there that's $100. I didn't pay $100 for it. It was
Yeah.
gifted to me.
But that's your ritual.
Yeah, but it's just right. But once again, those are celebratory cigars for me. But for certain people, those are their everyday smokes, and they won't smoke anything else. Why? Beats the heck out of me, man.
Yeah. It's crazy that way. But I mean, I don't know. You should ask your buddy, like, does he eat at new restaurants?
The only restaurant he eats at is all these bougie ass restaurants, man. That's the problem, man. Listen.
But does he try new bougie restaurants?
I would assume he does. Well, especially now, 'cause he moved to a different state. But listen, let me tell you something. Like, and it's funny that the hat that you got on every day is a cigar day. Have you guys ever spoken to that guy, Andreas?
No.
Well, yeah. I've on the Discord before. Yeah.
I've had multiple. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but that guy, you should reach out to him. That guy he's a prime example, right? This is a guy. He's Lithuanian. I think he's Lithuanian. He lived in England for many, many years, and then he moved to Nicaragua, and now he finally has his own factory now, his own farm, And I met Andres through social media and stuff like that probably about 3-4 years ago. And I absolutely love those cigars. Those cigars. Have you guys? Obviously, you've had them.
No.
No. Oh.
No. What is his brand?
Every day's a cigar.
That's his actual brand. I want the hat on alive. I just like.
Let me tell you something. So let me tell you something. So I'm not getting paid for this, but I'm gonna tell you right now, he's straight to consumer.
Okay.
Straight to consumer. He sells his cigars in 16 boxes. Like his boxes are like cardboard. They're cardboard boxes, right? He has a cigar called a Chunk. It's a I want to say it's 64 by 5, but it is a banger. His barber pole is ridiculous, and we're talking about 16 cigars for like $35.
I'm gonna have to try it. I'm gonna have to try them then.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, I'm telling you, you won't you won't be disappointed. So he moved to Nicaragua. He lives in Nicaragua now, and I believe last year is when he purchased his own farm. Well, either last year or the year before, but Andreas.
Only seen his clothes.
Yeah, go to everydayiscigarday.com and check out the cigar. Yeah, I promise you'll enjoy the hell out of them. The Maduro is sick, and it's a really dark wrapper, really silky, it's some good stuff, man. Really, really good stuff.
Learning new stuff every day. I love it.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Ish is talking about our previous conversation. He goes, lies. With even a 50% tariff, a cigar it will never go up $2 to $3 on a factory invoice. Period. He goes, the tariffs are on the factory invoice, and that's what I was saying, right? It's only on the invoice, right? It's never gonna be, and there is a formula in regards to per cigar, etc. But this is the information that you guys get to learn if you come and join the TPA. Just saying.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a 64 by 4 1/4.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah. I'm telling you, I promise you're not going to be disappointed. And if you get a chance, if you want, I'll reach out to him and have him and tell him that you guys might reach out to him. And when I tell you, get his cigars, order them, and once you guys have them ordered, let me know. And
okay. I saw he has a sampler pack.
Yeah.
Try everything. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Andre, and what I love about the guy he's very transparent, very open. He'll talk to you honestly, and you ask him questions, he's gonna answer it. He's gonna answer it very, very boldly and honestly. So you Mind you, it's very rare. Outside of Ish, I haven't met anyone that had their own factory. And when you confront them about certain things, that he doesn't make excuses about them. He's that person that he'll rectify the problem. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
So
Yeah.
that, like I said, the guy is really good people, really really good people.
Yeah. Well,
But
Panda, I thank the hell out of you for coming on and joining and
Yep,
taking time out of
appreciate it.
your busy ass life to grace us with your time on here.
thank you guys. It means a lot. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Look forward to trying your cigars. I respect the hell out of your content. So please keep that up. And remember, everybody out there in TPA world, vote for Pedro. Um, so, Panda, final words, brother.
Final words, guys. If you have them, smoke them. Smoke them with people that you enjoy being with. Pour yourself a glass, share some stories, and make some memories, guys. That's what this is all about.
Well said. Angel.
Um, hey, like Greg always says, go out there and try something new. You never know what you're gonna like. There's all these brands out there making great cigars. Don't stick to the same thing you're always smoking. Try something new, because believe me, there's a cigar out there that's gonna blow your mind. And check out the TPA, because you're gonna get so much knowledge out of it, and you're gonna meet so many different people, and we're just a family. It's a big community.
Yep. So for everybody watching, we still do our events on Tuesdays. Just tag us. Do not collaborate. We have no idea what's going on Instagram. Collaboration is going to hell. Support your boutiques. Go out and support the living hell out of them. For all you reviewers, stop asking to send you stuff to review. Just buy them. Trust me. Support them. You'd be surprised. Their cigars are good. Now, if you're talking to legacies, sure, ask them to send you stuff. They have the marketing budget. If, different story. And yes, back off of what Angel said, treat your palate to something new once a month. You will be surprised. Ask a buddy, ask a friend, ask a reviewer, talk to someone. Let them make a recommendation for you. You will be surprised on what is out there. We live in an amazing time period of cigars. Um, there are so many great blenders out there, master blenders. We live in a fantastic time. This is not the 90s or the 80s where you only have 5 cigar companies to choose from. Panda, thank you so much for gracing us with your time, brother. Sell those hats, sell those shirts. Good luck in TPA down in Florida coming up. To everybody who's watching, Hayes Gray, thank you for everything that you do for TPA Ish. Thank you for everything that you do for TPA. And everybody else who's watching, thank you for joining. Next Monday, we have Ancestry Cigars on. So
Nice.
tune in Monday. We'll have another great show coming up. And thank everybody who tuned in tonight. Enjoy your pairings, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.